Are you being lied to without knowing it? Have you ever sat alone in the quiet of the night and wondered, is there something happening behind my back that I don't realize? That question may seem suspicious, even negative, but it's the beginning of awakening. In a world where relationships are becoming more complex, it's increasingly common for a man to not realize he's being deceived, whether emotionally or through actions. In fact, 85% of men don't even notice the obvious signs of dishonesty right in front of them. You might be in that situation right now unaware. The good news is, today, you will begin to see more clearly. Not to live in doubt, but to live in understanding, and from there, take control of your emotional life. Illusion or reality, women and the art of hiding emotions. There's a long-standing, and quite accurate, stereotype that women have an innate ability to conceal their emotions. Unlike men, who often express themselves through actions, women typically choose to express themselves subtly and control perfectly what they reveal. When a man is unfaithful, it's easy to spot things like hidden messages, unusual schedules, or clear emotional coldness. But when a woman is no longer completely honest, everything becomes blurry. Every word, every glance, every explanation, all are calculated with extreme precision. This is what makes it easy for you, despite being right there, to be misled. Not because you're unintelligent, but because trust and love makes us not suspect those we care about. Words are never meaningless. For women, words aren't just tools for conveying information, they also serve as a cover for emotions, intentions, and things left unsaid. There are phrases that seem innocent, even sweet, but if you listen with more attentive ears, you'll realize there's a hidden truth waiting to be uncovered. Here are some dangerous phrases you should pay special attention to, not to make accusations, but to understand that behind those words, something is being left unsaid. 1. That guy understands me really well. This is perhaps the most harmless thing you'll ever hear. It often comes up as a simple compliment about a colleague, old friend, or someone from her social media. But ask yourself, why does she feel the need to tell you this? Why emphasize how well they understand each other? And is this person really just a friend to her? If your woman keeps bringing up a name, especially with a cheerful tone, bright eyes, there's a good chance this person has a significant place in her feelings. An emotional connection, even if nothing specific has happened yet, is the first door to betrayal. 2. I'm going out with my friends tonight. Sure, everyone deserves time to meet friends. But when this phrase is followed by suspicious behavior, like dressing unusually, not letting go of her phone, always keeping the screen down, or giving vague responses when you ask who's going, it's time to start paying closer attention. Do you notice any changes in her attitude? Are there blank periods in her day when you can't reach her? If so, it might not just be a casual night out with friends. 3. I think I need some space. This is a common phrase in stressful moments. It sounds logical and mature. But sometimes it's not exactly what it seems. Space is something we all need, but if it comes suddenly without clear reasons and is accompanied by emotional and physical distance, then you should question it. Many use space as a soft way to withdraw from the relationship, or worse, to have more time for someone else who is gradually taking over their mind. 4. I'll be working late tonight. You believe it because work is a perfectly reasonable excuse for being absent. But look carefully, is she really at work? Have you ever seen her work at that hour before? Does she often mention a new project you've never heard about? If evening absences become a routine, accompanied by avoidance when you ask questions, it could be a clever mask to cover up a completely different schedule. 5. I think we need some time apart. This sounds like a way to solve problems, but be careful. Many people use this phrase as a way to transfer their emotions to someone else without facing immediate consequences. When they say they need time apart to reflect, what they really may want is to get closer to someone else, but they're not ready to admit it yet. 6. You deserve someone better than me. It sounds like a noble, self-blaming comment, right? But in many cases, this is a disguised breakup. The person saying this is likely trying to soften the guilt and may even indirectly admit to doing something wrong. This phrase often comes up when they don't want to explain themselves clearly because they fear being criticized or caught. But don't take on the responsibility right away. Remember, true nobility comes from honesty. In the world of relationships, it's easy to be misled by small gestures and words that may seem harmless but hide something deeper. Understanding these signals and addressing them with awareness will empower you to protect your emotional well-being and make better choices in your relationships. Keep an open mind, listen attentively, and always ask questions if something feels off, because, in the end, you deserve the truth and a healthy, genuine connection. Body language decoded, when actions speak louder than words. You can train yourself to speak with confidence. You can learn to choose your words carefully. But there's one thing that's almost impossible to hide: your body language. In any relationship, especially romantic ones, what's truly felt isn't always said out loud. Instead, it's revealed through unconscious behaviors, eye contact, physical distance, posture, subtle touches, even how often someone smiles with genuine warmth. These tiny cues often expose what words try to cover up. Let's break down the most common body language signals and what they may really mean beneath the surface. 1. Avoiding eye contact when emotional distance creeps in. Eye contact is one of the most powerful emotional connectors we have. A lingering look can express presence, intimacy, and deep emotion. So if your partner starts dodging your gaze during conversations, it might be a sign of guilt, possibly hiding something. Emotional detachment, discomfort with being dishonest. They may look down, glance away, or even pretend to be busy, anything to avoid locking eyes. It doesn't always mean infidelity, but it does mean something's weighing on their mind. 2. Physical distance, when closeness isn't a priority anymore. Remember those early days of affection. Random hugs, hand-holding for no reason, sitting close just because. When things start shifting, physical distance is often the first red flag. She sits farther from you than usual, no longer initiates physical contact, avoids intimacy or simple affectionate gestures. If these things disappear without explanation, especially if they used to be frequent, it's worth paying attention. 3. Crossed arms and legs, the defensive posture. In psychology, closed-off body language like crossed arms or legs, or turning the body away, often reflects discomfort, mistrust, or defensiveness. If your partner sits with their body angled away from you, arms folded like a barrier, or legs crossed tightly, especially during serious conversations, it might signal emotional walls going up. Sure, sometimes it's just habit, but if it consistently happens during certain topics, take it as emotional resistance. 4. The fake smile, when the mouth smiles but the eyes don't. A real smile lights up the whole face, especially the eyes, which crinkle slightly and sparkle with emotion. A fake smile, on the other hand, is all lips and no soul. If you ask, "What's been making you happy lately?" and the response is a stiff, soulless grin, chances are they're hiding something unpleasant. Always trust the eyes more than the smile. Eyes don't lie. 5. Fidgeting, when emotions bubble beneath the surface. Body language isn't just about facial expressions. It shows up in the smallest habits: tapping fingernails, twisting rings or playing with hair, fidgeting with hands, or constantly shifting positions. These behaviors often reveal nervousness, unease, or emotional instability. Someone keeping something from you rarely feels completely relaxed around you, and their body gives it away, even when their words don't. 6. Changes in voice or speaking speed, clues to inner stress. Your voice is a form of body language too, and a powerful one. If your partner starts talking faster than usual, stammering, using filler words like "I mean ... or their pitch goes noticeably higher, they're likely experiencing stress. This is especially telling when you ask about plans, timelines, or someone specific. If her tone shifts, her emotions probably have to. Final note: context is everything. Don't jump to conclusions, because she avoided eye contact once or crossed her arms during a conversation. Body language only tells the full story when viewed in context and over time. Look for patterns. Combine what you see with what you hear. Notice consistency or sudden change. Maybe she avoided your gaze just because she was tired. But if it keeps happening, especially around sensitive topics, then yes, it's time to have an honest conversation. How to talk when you're feeling suspicious, uncovering the truth without causing harm. Conversations during doubt. Ask to understand, not to accuse. When something feels off, like your partner might be hiding something, or even being unfaithful, your first instinct might be to lash out emotionally. You want answers, you want confessions, you want the truth now. But here's the problem. No one shares honestly when they feel cornered, attacked, or judged. So what works better? Creating a safe space. A calm, open conversation where they feel free to speak without fear, and you stay grounded enough to observe without letting your emotions take over. 1. Staying calm is your superpower. If you approach the conversation in anger, you won't get the truth. Instead, you'll likely get defensiveness, lies meant to smooth things over, or worse, emotional shutdown and withdrawal. Calmness throws people off their script. They don't know how much you know, which makes it harder for them to fabricate a story. That's when cracks begin to show. Start with a soft tone, steady eye contact, and a neutral opener. I feel like there's been some distance between us lately, and I just want to understand what's going on. 2. Ask open-ended questions, not accusations. Avoid jumping straight to, "Are you cheating on me?" "You're seeing someone else, aren't you?" Those questions slam the door shut. Instead, try gently curious questions that give them room to open up. Who have you been spending time with in the evenings lately? Do you still feel happy in this relationship? Is there anything you've been holding back from me? Don't expect one perfect question to unlock everything. But the way you ask allows you to observe their body language, tone, and pacing, all of which often say more than words. 3. Listen without interrupting. One of the biggest mistakes. Cutting them off mid-sentence because what they're saying hurts. Whether they're telling the truth or weaving a story, let them finish. No reactions, no accusations. Just listen, nod, take mental notes. Then follow up with calm, focused questions. "You said you were with a friend that night, but I called and didn't get an answer. Was something going on? You mentioned a co-worker, but something doesn't quite add up. Can you help me understand?" Let silence do the heavy lifting. Silence, when timed right, is powerful. After you ask an important question, pause, let it hang in the air. Don't fill the silence, don't rescue them. If they're being honest, they'll try to explain further. If they're hiding something, they'll fidget, ramble, deflect, or get overly defensive. Let them sit in the silence. That's where truth often stirs. 5. Don't play detective without real evidence. Many people go full detective mode. Snooping through phones, reading private messages, installing trackers, secretly following. But these actions often leave you feeling worse and may cost you your self-respect. If you have clear evidence, use it as a last resort. Don't go digging just to validate a fear. Instead, look at the full picture: consistent behavior patterns, emotional withdrawal, dishonesty. A single red flag doesn't prove anything, but multiple warning signs, paired with evasiveness, that's when a deeper conversation is needed. 6. Don't expect an immediate confession. The truth rarely spills out on the first try. Some people deny it to the end. Others may need time to gather the courage to speak. You can't force someone to tell the truth, but you can create an atmosphere where they want to. "You're safe with me. I just want to hear the truth. This isn't about blame, it's about honesty. Because I deserve that. Take your time. But I need you to be real with me." 7. Set boundaries if you feel disrespected. If they continue to dodge, manipulate, gaslight, or flip the blame onto you, step back. You can forgive mistakes, but not disrespect. Someone who truly loves you will choose honesty, even when it's ugly, because they respect you. because they value your peace of mind more than protecting their own image. And if they don't walk away with your dignity intact, rebuilding trust, is there a chance for a new beginning? Here's a hard truth anyone who's been through it knows. Once trust is broken, it never returns the same. It's like a shattered mirror. You can piece it back together, but the cracks will always be there, no matter how carefully you try to hide them. But there's another truth just as important. Trust can be rebuilt. Not to go back to the way things were, but to build something new, something stronger, wiser, and more grounded. If you're the one who was hurt or the one who caused the hurt and you both still want to hold on, here are the non-negotiables for rebuilding lost trust. 1. Trust can't be demanded, it has to be earned back. You can't say, "Just trust me again." You definitely can't insist, "I already apologized, that should be enough." Trust doesn't work like a light switch. It needs consistent action, over time, with patience. And here's what you must accept. The person who was hurt has every right not to trust you yet. Don't pressure them, don't guilt them. Let them choose if and when they're ready. Respecting their healing process is your first step toward earning a second chance. 2. Be honest even if it makes you look bad. If you broke the trust, answer every question truthfully. Don't downplay, don't sugarcoat, don't give half answers. You can't claim to be sorry while still hiding part of the truth. Half-truths scream, "I'm only sorry I got caught." Honesty, even the kind that hurts your image, is what earns back respect. And people often need to respect you again before they can trust you. 3. Don't get defensive, make space for their anger and pain. When they say things like, "I feel betrayed," you destroyed the trust I had in you. "Every time I see you, I think about what you did." The wrong responses are you ever going to stop bringing it up? "I already said I'm sorry, you're not perfect either." Instead, understand that their pain has a voice. Letting them express it again and again is how they heal. Every time they open up, they're giving you a chance to show up differently. Sometimes all you need to say is, "I understand, keep talking. Thank you for staying, even with all this hurt." For actions speak louder than apologies. A daily "I'm sorry" text won't cut it. What they need to see is, you've fully cut off the third party, if there was one. You're being transparent about your time, phone, and social media, at least for now. You bring up emotions voluntarily, not just when you're asked. This isn't about being controlled, it's the cost of rebuilding what you broke. And if you're the one who was hurt, you're allowed to ask for these things to feel safe again. 5. Redefine the relationship, don't go back, build a better version. After a major betrayal, you can't return to how things were. But you can create something new, healthier, clearer, and more intentional. Sit down together and define what's no longer acceptable, for example, secretive texts, vague whereabouts. How to handle conflict, no silent treatment, no storming out. How to show care, listening, quality time, verbal affirmations, ... These aren't rules, they're mutual emotional agreements. A relationship without boundaries is always vulnerable to being broken again. 6. Consider couples therapy if you can. Some couples avoid therapy thinking it's only for weak relationships. But the truth is, it takes strength to face your emotional wounds head-on. A licensed therapist can help you understand each other's emotions better. Learn to listen and respond without triggering more hurt. Move past blame, avoidance, and resentment. If you're serious about healing, therapy isn't a weakness, it's an investment in your future together. 7. When is it time to walk away? Some wounds just don't heal, and that's not necessarily anyone's fault. If after all your efforts, one person refuses to change, the other can't stop living in fear and pain. Trust becomes a burden instead of a foundation. Then it might be time to let go. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. And letting go at the right time can be the most loving thing you do for them and for yourself. Emotional manipulation, the silent killer of trust. Emotional manipulation doesn't scream like obvious betrayal. It doesn't come with secret texts or bold-faced lies. It's subtle, it's sneaky. And it's so quiet that sometimes You don't even realize it's happening until you've already lost yourself. In a healthy relationship, your feelings are respected and heard. But when your emotions are twisted, minimized, or even worse, used against you, you may be stuck in a toxic cycle that's eroding your sense of reality. Let's walk through some of the most common signs of emotional manipulation so you can recognize the red flags and protect your peace. 1. Gaslighting, making you doubt your own mind. Gaslighting is one of the most classic and dangerous forms of manipulation. It can make you apologize constantly even when you did nothing wrong. Doubt your own memory. Stop trusting your gut feelings. Examples: I feel like you've been texting that girl a little too much. Them, you always imagine stuff. You're being paranoid again. Or, you promised we'd have dinner together tonight. Them, I never said that. Are you making stuff up just to make me feel guilty? Over time, you stop trusting yourself. You begin to question your instincts instead of questioning them, and that's how they gain control over your thoughts. 2. Playing the victim, shifting blame to escape accountability. Emotional manipulators are masters at flipping the script. They always find a way to make themselves the victim no matter the situation. They'll cry, complain, or blame their childhood, stress, trauma, anything. Even gentle feedback becomes an attack. You're always criticizing me. Do you even know how hard I'm trying? When you say things like that, it reminds me of how alone I felt growing up. Suddenly, you feel guilty, even though you're not the one who messed up. And just like that, you stop speaking up. You stay quiet. You let it go. 3. Silent treatment, punishment in disguise. Instead of having a real conversation when there's tension, they shut down. For hours, days, sometimes weeks. No explanation, no replies, no context. They use silence to make you feel like you're the problem, like you did something wrong, like you need to beg for their attention. This isn't someone needing space. This is emotional punishment, plain and simple. For controlling you disguised as caring. Not all control looks like screaming, you can't do that. Many manipulators disguise control as concern. I don't like when you wear that. It makes me uncomfortable. Why go out with your friends? I just worry about your safety. Your friends are bad influences. I only want you around people who lift you up. Sounds sweet, it's not. It's isolation dressed up as love. The goal? To slowly cut you off from everyone until you only have them. 5. Blaming you for your feelings. You're too sensitive. You share a concern, gives they call you negative. You ask a question, gives they call you controlling. You say you're uncomfortable, gives they say you're being dramatic. Eventually, you stop speaking. You suppress your feelings. You reshape yourself to keep them happy even if it costs you your peace. 6. Hot and cold, making you addicted to their approval. This tactic is dangerously effective. Reward withdrawal. When you do what they want, they shower you with affection. When you push back, they withhold it, or worse, criticize you harshly. This puts you in a state of anxiety. You try harder to earn their love again. You become addicted to their approval, and in the process, you lose your identity. 7. They're kind only when you're struggling. Manipulators often show affection only when you're sad, vulnerable, dependent. But when you stand up for yourself or express a boundary, they change, they shut down, or lash out. Because they don't truly love you, they love having power over you. So, how do you break free from emotional manipulation? That's the next question, and the answer deserves its own space. Naming the truth when it's no longer love, but control. The first step to healing is to call it what it is. This wasn't love, it was manipulation, it was control. It was destruction dressed up as romance. To break free, you'll need a support system, friends, family, or a therapist you can be brutally honest with, clear boundaries, and the courage to walk away if they're crossed. The strength to stop trying to save someone who doesn't want to change. Healing after a toxic relationship, when freedom isn't the end, but the beginning. Leaving a toxic relationship isn't like walking away from a sad love story. It's more like escaping a slow, invisible collapse. It comes with exhaustion, heartbreak, and a deep sense of emptiness. Because you didn't just lose someone, you lost parts of yourself. Your trust in others, your trust in yourself, your sense of emotional safety. But healing is possible. And not just healing, you can come back stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. Here's a 6-step journey to true recovery after a toxic relationship. 1. Accept that you were hurt, and that doesn't make you weak. Many people deny their pain after leaving a toxic relationship. They think, maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I was overreacting. They weren't that bad. But denial is the first wall you need to break. You were hurt. You were manipulated. You lost pieces of yourself trying to keep something broken together. That doesn't make you weak. It means you loved deeply, and that's not something to be ashamed of. Only through acceptance can healing begin. 2. Cut off all contact. Leave no door open. No more checking their Instagram stories. No more just-in-case messages. No more wondering, what if they change? You can't heal if the door stays cracked open. The person who hurt you can't be the one to pull you out of the darkness. Block them, unfollow, delete the photos and texts. Not out of hate, but because you deserve peace. You deserve yourself back. 3. Rewrite the story, from survivor, not victim. You are not the one who was abandoned. You are not the one who was betrayed. You are the one who woke up and chose to walk away. Rewrite your story, from I wasted years on the wrong person, to I found my power through what I survived. From I was broken by love, gives to I redefined love by choosing myself. For let yourself grieve, but don't let the pain define you. You will miss them. You'll cry over songs, old photos, familiar places. Let yourself feel it. Don't bottle it up. Don't fake strength. But always remember, pain is part of healing. Not a reason to go back. Write in a journal. Talk to a trusted friend. See a therapist. Every time you name the pain, you take a little more power back. 5. Redefine love, from the inside out. Love isn't about silent suffering. Love isn't control, sacrifice, or walking on eggshells to keep the peace. Real love feels like freedom. It feels safe. It feels like you fully and unapologetically you. Ask yourself, what does a healthy relationship look like for me? What boundaries will I never compromise again? What kind of love do I truly deserve? And most of all, can I give myself that love before expecting it from anyone else? 6. Reinvest in yourself, time, energy, and gratitude. Turn your pain into purpose. Fill your days with things that bring you back to life. Hit the gym or take up a new sport. Learn something new. Travel somewhere you've never been. Read, reflect, grow. Reconnect with friends you drifted from because they didn't like them. Every act of self-love is a brick in the foundation of the new you. And one day, you'll look back and realize, you were never broken, just buried, and now you're rising. The real love story begins with you. You've made it through a lot in this piece. From the subtle signs of deception, the seemingly innocent phrases that carry deeper meaning, to how to face doubt, recognize manipulation, and finally begin the journey of healing after a toxic relationship. And if you're still reading, I believe this with all my heart. You are awakening. You are brave. You are choosing yourself. You don't need someone to complete you. We've all been told. Your other half will make you whole. But here's the truth. You've always been whole. You don't need someone else to feel worthy. You don't need a relationship to prove that you're lovable. True love, when it comes, should feel like to whole people choosing each other, not to broken souls trying to patch up their cracks. Self-love isn't selfish, it's the foundation of everything real. Yes, you can love someone deeply, but if you don't love yourself first, you may over-sacrifice, settle for less, lose yourself just to hold on to a relationship. Loving yourself doesn't mean you'll be alone forever. It means that when you do love someone, you'll never abandon yourself in the process. Healthy love brings peace, not anxiety. Real love doesn't make you overthink or second-guess. It doesn't make you anxious, insecure, or obsessed with checking their phone. It doesn't punish you with silence or manipulate you with guilt. Real love is where you can be fully yourself without fear of being judged. You don't need someone who makes you feel loved for a moment. You need someone who makes you feel safe every single day. And if you've loved the wrong person, that's okay if you learned the right lesson. Don't beat yourself up for trusting. Don't feel ashamed for loving someone too much. That doesn't make you weak. It only proves you loved with your whole heart. You lived fully, and you were brave. Love doesn't always take you to the perfect ending. But sometimes it brings you back to yourself if you're wise enough to know when to walk away. So here's the final truth. From this moment on, choose yourself before, during, and after love. You might be lonely for a while, but don't settle for something that hurts long term. You might cry tonight, but don't keep crying over someone who didn't deserve you. You might lose a relationship, but never let that cost you yourself. You are worthy of a peaceful love, and you are strong enough to wait for it. Until then, live fully, heal deeply, and love yourself like it's the most important thing in the world. Because honestly, it is.